Hey guys, good to see you in another episode. This week we're going to be hopping into Exodus, and after a long hiatus, we'll be starting this story of the Israelites in Egypt. Won't be able to do a very long one because right now the sun's close to going down and it's Shabbat, so without further ado, let's hop straight into it. Exodus, the liberation from Egypt. Israel in Egypt, the prosperity of the Hebrews in Egypt. These are the names of the sons of Israel who went with Jacob to Egypt, each with his family: Reuben, Shimeon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zebulun, and Binyamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. In all, the descendants of Jacob numbered 70 persons. Joseph was in Egypt already. Then Joseph died, and his brothers, and all that generation. But the sons of Israel were fruitful, and grew in number greatly. They increased and grew so immensely powerful that they filled the land. The Hebrews oppressed. Then there came to power in Egypt a new king, who knew nothing of Joseph. "Look," he said to his subjects, "these people, the sons of Israel, have become so numerous and strong that they are a threat to us. We must be prudent and take steps against their increasing any further, or if war should break out, they might add to the number of our enemies. They might take arms against us and so escape out of the country." Accordingly, they put slave drivers over the Israelites to wear them down under heavy loads. In this way, they built the store cities of Pitom and Ramses for Pharaoh. But the more they were crushed, the more they increased and spread, and men came to dread the sons of Israel. The Egyptians forced the sons of Israel into slavery and made their lives unbearable with hard work with clay and with brick, all kinds of work in the fields. They forced on them every kind of labor. The king of Egypt then spoke to the Hebrew midwives, one of whom was named Shiphrah, and the other Puah. "When you midwives attend Hebrew women," he said, "watch the two stones carefully. If it is a boy, kill him. If a girl, let her live." But the midwives were God-fearing. They disobeyed the commands of the king of Egypt and let the boys live. So the king of Egypt summoned the midwives. "Why?" he asked them. "Have you done this and spared the boys?" "The Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women," they answered Pharaoh. "They are hardy, and they give birth before the midwife reaches them." God was kind to the midwives. The people went on increasing and grew very powerful. Since the midwives reverenced God, he granted them descendants. Pharaoh then gave his subjects this command: "Throw all the boys born to Hebrews into the river, but let all the girls live." Early life and call of Moses. The birth of Moses. There was a man of the tribe of Levi who had taken a woman of Levi as his wife. She conceived and gave birth to a son, and seeing what a fine child she was, she kept him hidden for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him, coating it with bitumen and pitch. She put the child inside and laid it among the reeds at the river's edge. His sister stood some distance away to see what would happen to him. Now Pharaoh's daughter went to bathe in the river, and the girls attending her were walking along by the riverside. Among the reeds she noticed the basket, and she sent her maid to fetch it. She opened it and looked, and saw a baby boy crying, and she was sorry for him. "This is a child of one of the Hebrews," she said. Then the child's sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and find you a nurse among the Hebrew women to suckle the child for you?" "Yeah, go," Pharaoh's daughter said to her, and the girl went off to find the baby's own mother. So the woman took the child and suckled it. When the child grew up, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, who treated him like a son. She named him Moses, or Moshe in Hebrew. She said, "I drew him out of the water." And that's a play on the letter mem, actually, because it came from a rolling wave, and then became actually a letter in the alphabet in the Canaanite, Akkadian, or early Proto-Hebrew script. Moses escapes to Midian. Moses, a man by now, set out at this time to visit his countrymen, and he saw what a hard life they were having. And he saw an Egyptian strike a Hebrew, one of his countrymen. Looking around, he could see no one in sight. So he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. On the following day he came back, and there were 2 Hebrews fighting. He said to the man who was in the wrong, "What do you mean by hitting your fellow countrymen?" "And who appointed you," the man retorted, "to be prince over us and judge? Do you intend to kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" Moses was frightened. Clearly that business had come to light, he thought. When Pharaoh heard of the matter, he would have killed Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and made for the land of Midian. And he sat down beside a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters. They came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's sheep. Shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses came to their defense and watered their sheep for them. When they returned to their father Reuel, he said to them, "You are back early today." "An Egyptian protected us from the shepherds," they said. "Yes, and he drew water for us and watered the flock." "And where is he?" he asked his daughters. "Why did you leave the man there?" "Ask him to eat with us." So Moses settled with this man, who gave him his daughter Zipporah in marriage. She gave birth to a son, and he named him Gershom, because he said, "I am a stranger in a foreign land." The call of Moses. God remembers Israel. During this long period, the king of Egypt died. The sons of Israel, groaning in their slavery, cried out for help, and from the depths of their slavery their cry came up to God. God heard their groaning, and he called to mind his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God looked down upon the sons of Israel, and he knew. So the footnote is 1a, the residence of Ramses II in the delta, either Tanis or Kantir. Footnote 1b, the exact meaning is uncertain. Footnote 2a, folk derivation of the name Moses from Mashah, to draw out. 2b, Midian lies south of Edom and east of the Gulf of Aqaba. So, if you imagine you're looking this way, the Gulf of Aqaba is going to be that portion near Eilat in southern Israel. And so it's saying it lies east of that. So in very, very, very northwest Arabia, Saudi Arabia. The burning bush. Moses was looking after the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, who was also referred to as Reuel, priest of Midian. He led his flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of Yahweh appeared to him in the shape of a flame of fire, coming from the middle of a bush. Moses looked. There was the bush blazing, but it was not being burned up. "I must go and look at this strange sight," Moses said, "and see why the bush is not burned." Now Hashem saw him going forward to look, and God called to him from the middle of the bush, "Moses, Moses." He said, "Here I am," he answered. "Come no nearer," he said. "Take off your shoes, for the place on which you stand is holy ground." "I am the God of your father," he said, "the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." At this, Moses covered his face, afraid to look at God. The mission of Moses. And Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh said, "I have seen the miserable state of my people in Egypt. I have heard their appeal to be free of their slave drivers. Yes, I am well aware of their sufferings. I meant to deliver them out of the hands of the Egyptians and bring them up out of that land to a land rich and broad, a land where milk and honey flow, the home of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And now the cry of the sons of Israel has come to me, and I have witnessed the way in which the Egyptians oppress them. So come, I send you to Pharaoh to bring the sons of Israel, my people, out of Egypt." Moses said to God, "Who am I to go to Pharaoh and bring the sons of Israel out of Egypt?" "I shall be with you," was the answer. "And this is the sign by which you shall know that it is I who have sent you. After you have led the people out of Egypt, you are to offer worship to God on this mountain." The divine name revealed. Then Moses said to God, "I am to go, then, to the sons of Israel and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you'? But if they ask me what his name is, what am I to tell them?" And God said to Moses, "I am who I am." "This," he added, "is what you must say to the sons of Israel. 'I am has sent me to you.'" And God also said to Moses, "You are to say to the sons of Israel, 'Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name for all time. By this name I shall be invoked for all generations to come." Moses instructed for his mission, "Go and gather the elders of Israel together and tell them, 'Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh, the God of your fathers, has appeared to me, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and of Jacob. And he has said to me, I have visited you and seen all the Egyptians are doing to you. And so I have resolved to bring you up out of Egypt, where you are oppressed, into the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, to a land where milk and honey flow. They will listen to your words. And with the elders of Israel you are to go to the king of Egypt and say to him, Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh, the God of the Hebrews, has come to meet us. Give us leave then to make 3 days' journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifice to Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh our God. For myself, knowing the king of Egypt will not let you go, unless he is forced by a mighty hand, I shall show my power and strike Egypt with all the wonders I am going to work there. After this he will let you go. The Egyptians to be plundered. I will give this people such prestige in the eyes of the Egyptians that when you go, you will not go empty-handed. Every woman will ask her neighbor, and the woman who is staying in her house, for silver ornaments and gold. With these you will adorn your sons and daughters. You will plunder the Egyptians. Moses granted miraculous powers. Then Moses answered, What if they will not believe me or listen to my words, and say to me, Yahweh has not appeared to you? And Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh asked him, What is that in your hand? A staff, Moses said. Throw it on the ground, said Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh to Moses. So Moses threw his staff on the ground. It turned into a serpent, and he drew back from it. Put your hand out and catch it by the tail, Hashem said to him. And he put out his hand and caught it, and in his hand the serpent turned into a staff, so that they may believe that Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has really appeared to you. And again, Hashem spoke to Moses, Put your hand in your bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and drew it out. And his hand was covered with leprosy as white as snow. Put your hand back into your bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and drew it out, and there it was restored, just like the rest of his flesh. Even so, should they not believe you nor be convinced by the first sign, the second will convince them. But if they should believe neither of these 2 signs and not listen to your words, you must take water from the river and pour it on the ground. And the water you have drawn from the river will turn to blood on the ground. Aaron, the mouthpiece of Moses. Moses said to Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh, But my Lord, never in my life have I been a man of eloquence, either before or since you have spoken to your servant. I am a slow speaker and not able to speak well. Who gave man his mouth? Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh answered him, Who makes him dumb or deaf, gives him sight or leaves him blind? Is it not I, Yahweh? Now go, I shall help you speak and tell you what to say. If it pleases you, my Lord, Moses replied, send anyone you will. At this, the anger of Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh blazed out against Moses. And he said to him, There is your brother Aaron the Levite, is there not? I know that he is a good speaker. Here he comes to meet you. When he sees you, his heart will be full of joy. You will speak to him and tell him what message to give. I shall help you to speak, and him too, and instruct you what to do. He himself is to speak to the people in your place. He will be your mouthpiece, and you will be as the God inspiring him. And take this staff into your hand. With this you will perform the signs. Moses returns to Egypt. So, for a second, God is telling Moses to act basically as his fiduciary, his representative. And in the same way that God is speaking to Moses, he wants Moses to speak to Aaron. And so he's saying, you think you can't speak? You think you're not good enough? Even though I have basically created this universe and everything you see in it, and I can create the thing that speaks in and of itself. If that's not good enough for you, fine. Here's your brother. He will help you with that. So we continue. Moses returns to Egypt. He leaves Midian. Moses went away and returned to his father-in-law Jethro and said to him, give me leave to go back to my relatives in Egypt to see if they are still alive. And Jethro said to Moses, go in peace. Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh said to Moses in Midian, go, return to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you are dead. So Moses took his wife and his son, putting them on a donkey, started back for the land of Egypt. And Moses took in his hand the staff of God. Yahweh said to Moses, now that you are going back to Egypt, be prepared to perform before Pharaoh all the marvels that I have given to you the power to do. I myself will harden his heart. I will harden his heart. And he will not let the people go. Then you will say to Pharaoh, this is what Hashem says. Israel is my firstborn son. I ordered you to let my son go to offer me worship. You refuse to let him go. So be it. I shall put your firstborn to death. And here we see the footnote for that, 3a, Sinai, the alternative name used in the Elohistic tradition. And obviously this author is operating off of that framework. And 3b, the formula I am who I am becomes in the third person, Yod-Heh-Vov-Heh, he is. And with that, I think we will end it there for now, and we will pick up in next week's episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have, if you're watching this today, which I highly doubt, hope you have a good Shabbat. Whatever the Shabbat is that follows this one, hope you have a good one, and I wish you a great week and a great life. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, and subscribe, like, comment, whatever, and just participate, and have a great one. Bye-bye.